When Bowen told me he'd booked our haul-out date to reapply the antifoul, a knot instantly formed in my stomach. Manoeuvring the boat in new places has always caused me panic, but the sound of this whole process tied my stomach in knots. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty competent, but competence and confidence are two very different things. Here we are, getting lifted. First time we've ever done this. Bit scary, but here we are. All I can say is, luckily we chose to haul out with Ben and his crew at Cairns Boatyard. They made the whole process so simple. We picked up a boatyard mooring for the night, which was conveniently located right out the front of the boatyard. On the day of our lift, we popped in and chatted about our haul-out time and the whole process, and once I'd confirmed there was no way I could possibly spear our hull on this hydraulic lift, we were good to go.
Woohoo!
I didn't break it!
It wasn't that scary.
It actually wasn't that bad, no. It was easy. Especially with you going here, I'm like, oh, yeah. The whole process was so quick and smooth. Like most things, I was stressing over nothing. As the sun came up the following day, we were ready to start, and the kids completely preoccupied, living their best lives, playing with the other boatyard kids, we were able to get right into taping and antifoul application. During our time in Cairns, Kota celebrated his 9th birthday. Living on a boat, we have had to start getting creative with gifts, because we really don't have the room for extra things and refuse to buy junk that won't be played with. So this year we created an exploding birthday box with vouchers for Kota's favourite places and some of his favourite treats. This allowed him to have an incredible birthday experience on his actual birthday and also reduce the amount of toys and clutter we have on board. I think you can tell from his face, it was a massive win. It's been a long time since the kids have been able to be kids in this way. It feels like a lifetime since they were able to play in the dirt and ride bikes with other kids, not to mention they had a blast riding a four-wheeler for the first time. When all was said and done, they were begging to stay on the hard forever, but Bowen and I were keen to get back to the floating life and away from the midgies.
We're so excited to sit down with you guys and share our next big adventure.
After reprovisioning in Cairns, we're ready to head north.
After a lot of thinking and planning, we've decided to make Indonesia our next big destination.
We've had a great time sailing the Australian coast, but we think it's time for a challenge. It's time for a new adventure.
A change.
Yeah.
But before we get there, we've got a bit of an adventure ahead of us.
Yeah, that's true. So we've got just over 1,000 nautical miles before we get to the check-in point in Indonesia. And so we need to get there before cyclone season kicks off, so we've got to keep moving.
It's pretty wild to think that when we first bought Tayrona till now, we've done 1,200 nautical miles. And this next leg that we're talking about to get to Indonesia is roughly 1,000 to 1,200 nautical miles in itself.
Yeah, it feels pretty daunting, but we've learnt so much and we're so much more confident than we were before, so I think that we're going to be fine. Our first stop's going to be the Daintree River, and then we're heading to Lizard Island, which we're also really excited about.
Yeah. From there, we'll be making our way to Thursday Island, which will be our last point of call in Australia before we start our crossing.
And here's a bit of exciting news. We've decided to take on a crew member. They'll be helping us with our passage across to Indonesia. We're going to be picking them up in Port Douglas, and an extra set of hands will be super helpful for that long haul.
Definitely. We'll definitely be wanting someone to help us out for the night passages, especially having 2 kids on board. It's going to be a big learning curve for us, but we're really excited, and I feel like everyone who sails is always learning something, and people are always learning in life anyway. So we're super excited to get to Indonesia and learn about their culture.
We're super grateful to everyone following along on our journey, and it's because of you that we get to share these moments. So if you want to keep up with the progress, make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on. And of course, follow us on Instagram for real-time updates as well.
Definitely. This next stretch is going to be amazing.
Thanks for being part of this adventure with us. Next stop, Port Douglas.